Richard. I'm a war resister. I spent 6 years in the U.S. military. I joined in 1999 when I was still in high school. I joined the National Guard to help pay for university, but also because I believed in the mission at the time. I was told that we go to war as a last resort. We're there to, do things like sandbagging and riot control. I don't know how many riots actually happened in the state of Iowa, but that's what they told us. When the war in Afghanistan came around 2001, I was a huge supporter. I believed, I wanted some, revenge for 9/11. The war in Iraq came around. I was a huge supporter of the war in Iraq. I was always a little more liberal-leaning, but at the same time, I trusted the U.S. administration, trusted the government, trusted the commanders, everything like that. Then I really started thinking about it and had friends that weren't coming back from Iraq, so I really started thinking about it and decided, I'm just going to serve out my contract and be done with it. But the U.S. military had other plans. At the end of my contract, they put me through a process called stop loss, where they extended my contract by 25 years, 1 month, and 1 day, and gave me orders to go to Iraq. So rather than go to Iraq, I chose to go AWOL and come to Canada instead. That was about 6 years ago. It'll be 6 years ago next month. So I've actually almost been AWOL as long as I've been in the military. So anyway, I'd just like to share a couple thoughts I had about today. Lately, when I turn on the news, I'm starting to get a little bit depressed. We have a tail-spinning economy, or so they say. More wars, more violence, more people forgetting that we're all human beings. And it's easy to lose hope. Still, it does give me some hope that the wars and economies have to be sold even harder to the people than before. It means we're all starting to ask questions more than we were before. It certainly made me ask more questions, fundamental questions that we should all be asking. We almost always start with the wrong questions. We always ask, how do we fix it? What's the solution? What we don't ask is, what's the problem? Most people will give you easy 1- or 2-word answers when you ask them what the problem with society today is. People say greed, the government, poverty, conservatives, liberals, terrorists, hippies. There's usually some sort of rationale to it, though, that people will say. They'll say that, if only we could do this, if only we could fix that. My friends, we know that if it were that simple, we would have fixed it by now. It's getting to the point where even the super rich and elitist of societies are clamoring for some sort of solution, albeit one that's probably going to screw us, telling us that the system is broken, something we've all known for a while. I told you I've been thinking, and I think I may have found the problem. It comes down to choice. All choice carries consequence, I know that, but this isn't about the consequence of choice, it's about the choice in of itself. Often we do things like go to war, bomb countries, or build mega prisons. You can probably guess which way I voted off of that statement there. Because we have some idea that we really don't have a choice. We're restricted. We say that we have to choose this way or nothing. Now, my problem with this is that we see harsher restrictive actions and the consequence that go with it as choices. These are times to react, to make swift and decisive action. Choose to go to war. But we don't seem to put much, if any, emphasis on the other side of the coin. Why don't we choose to go to peace? Why is it that we view the absence of choice, absence of war, as peace? As if peace is somehow the default. It's not. With as much zeal as we choose to kill, we need in our hearts and our minds, with all our bodies and our souls, willing to choose to wage peace. Why is it that we so easily make a choice, and don't tell me it's not easy, when the other choice didn't get nearly the same commitment to commit money, resources, our lives and other lives to war? But we won't make the same commitment to not wage war. We spend billions, trillions on weapons with ever-increasing complexity. We have robots that'll blow you up from the sky that probably cost more than what it would cost to feed and clothe the village for a year. Shame. The problem is that is seen as the choice. You choose to go to war or you don't. We don't even consider the other choices. We always say yes or no, black or white, up or down. This is the context we have allowed ourselves to be pigeonholed in. Never ever will you hear a politician say, do we spend billions of dollars on war, risk our lives and the risk of others? Or do we spend billions on peace and risk our lives for peace? You won't hear that. My question is, why not? Until we collectively as a society decide that choosing peace is as much of a choice as choosing to go to war, we won't have the society we want, or the one that we hope to one day finally deserve. Now, you say, Tim, aren't you preaching to the choir? No, I'm preaching to the choir directors right now. You all are the choir directors. It's your job to leave here, recruit your own choir. Many of you are doing a fantastic job, but you tell people why you don't agree with this. You tell people, you tell your friends, you tell your neighbors why peace is a choice, why violence breeds more violence, why war only serves to bring the next war. Short of genocide of the opposing force, you'll just be fighting again. Find me a war where this wasn't true. Think of any war that wasn't true, that just merely served to set up the next war. Now, not many people know this, but I've become a pacifist now. And a lot of the pacifists come from my Christian views. So I'm just going to leave you with this. If nothing else, shows you how peace is a matter of choice. It comes from Matthew 18, 21, 22. Then Peter came to Jesus, a little windy, and asked, Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? Now, 7 back then seemed like a ridiculously excessive amount of times to say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, let's make peace. I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. It's easy to choose not to forgive, to go to war, to kill. How easy is it to choose to wage peace, to forgive those who wrong you? So long as it depends on you, so long as it's your choice, live peacefully with all. Believe me, it does depend on you. Thank you.